Alright, y'all, we back. Today we got WWE WrestleMania moments that made everybody cry. Right off the bat, WrestleMania 24, Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair's in here for sure. That's all I can really think of off the top of my head. Yeah, let's get right into it. Man, wrestling's been cooking lately. I still don't watch it weekly. I do know it's because I didn't watch Backlash. But I know that was in France, and I know the crowd was insane. So, without further ado, let's get right into this.
The saddest moments in WWE history have happened at WrestleMania. Some of them bring tears of joy, but this first one does not. On April 2nd,
Whoa!
2022, Cody Rhodes returned to WWE after 6 years away from the company. The next night, Cody said the reason he came back was to win the title his father, Dusty Rhodes, never won, the WWE Championship. However, things got off to a rough start when the American Nightmare tore his pectoral muscle off the bone less than 2 months after returning, which resulted in Cody being sidelined for the rest of the year. However, Cody recovered just in time for the 2023 Royal Rumble. Rhodes entered at number 30 and won, guaranteeing him a shot at the WWE Champion, Roman Reigns, at WrestleMania. Leading up to the match, things got very emotional and very personal due to Dusty Rhodes' real-life death.
You want to know what he used to always say about you? Nothing. But just know this.
Ooh.
If there's anything that he didn't teach you, I will.
Finally, after weeks of build-up, the day came. April 2nd, 2023. Exactly 1 year after Cody returned to WWE, the American Nightmare was about to accomplish what he came to do. Rhodes and Reigns' match was long and physical, but eventually, Cody hit 2 back-to-back crossroads. However, before he could hit a third, a distraction from Paul Heyman and a Samoan spike from Solo Sikoa allowed Roman Reigns to nail a spear and win the match. Yes, this was a scripted wrestling match, but the emotion and disappointment were real.
I know people are proud, and I appreciate that, but this sucks. Really sucks.
While Cody's defeat was sad, this next moment brought tears to fans' eyes with just 5 words.
I remember everybody. I need to slow down. I was comparing that to when Cena lost to The Rock at Mania 28, but then won next year at 29. It's kind of like the same thing.
This sucks. Really
Not all the way, but
While Cody's defeat was sad, this next moment brought tears to fans' eyes with just 5 words. After a roughly 3-month hiatus, Ric Flair returned to WWE in November 2007 to say he would never retire. However, Vince McMahon had other plans. McMahon said the next match Flair lost would result in the Nature Boy being forced into retirement. The next few months were filled with heart-pounding moments, as Flair did everything he needed to in order to avoid retirement. However, in a surprise move, Ric Flair actually challenged Shawn Michaels to a match at WrestleMania. HBK was hesitant, but Flair insisted that he wanted to fight Shawn. At WrestleMania 24, the two legends laced up their boots and went toe-to-toe. Michaels and Flair put on a phenomenal match that only they could do. The fans watched intensely the entire time and held on to every moment. Finally, Michaels had a chance to hit Sweet Chin Music, but was second-guessing himself. Ric Flair saw this and told HBK to brain it. This led to Michaels' famous line. Mr. WrestleMania hit his finisher and pinned the Nature Boy.
gosh, almighty. This match happened when I was 2008, 3rd grade. This was 3rd grade for me. I can only imagine the emotion y'all were experiencing watching this. Man, that's... I could tell this story probably cooked.
The career
No, probably it did cook.
of Ric Flair. The emotions began pouring out immediately after that. Once he got up, Flair was in tears, as were many others. While the Nature Boy would wrestle again outside of WWE, it was still sad seeing a legend's career come to an end. Ironically, 2 years later, Shawn Michaels would find himself in a very similar position as Ric Flair. At WrestleMania 25, Michaels earned the opportunity to face off against one of his old rivals, The Undertaker. The Dead Man had never been defeated on the grandest stage of them all, and HBK would do anything to be the first man to do it. Shawn survived some brutal punishment, and at one point, fans thought Michaels might do the impossible. However, in the end, Mr. WrestleMania had his shoulders covered and became another victim of the Dead.
Y'all saw that choke slam? He got way up, man. I was gonna say something, but I forgot. Oh, Cena said he wanted to retire before he was 50. He is 47. So we got three years left with Cena. If he retires at 50 or before 50. Please, wrestling gods. This man needs to break 17 championships. They has to be him. If it's not him, Randy Orton, but it has to be him. Has to be. And it's gonna be so sad when Cena retires. If he gives like a whole retirement speech, oh yeah, that's gonna be rough.
Afterward, the Heartbreak Kid became obsessed and wanted one more match with The Undertaker. After scratching and clawing, Shawn Michaels got his rematch with the stipulation that if he lost, he would retire. With everything on the line, Shawn laced up his boots and locked up with The Undertaker again at WrestleMania 26. The Heartbreak Kid gave it 110%, but despite his valiant effort, Michaels could not get the job done and suffered a second defeat at the hands of The Undertaker. Just like that, the career of one of the most legendary wrestlers came to an end. After the match, Undertaker helped his opponent to his feet and shook his hand. The Phenom then left the ring and let Shawn Michaels soak in the applause from the audience. While Shawn Michaels had a happy ending, Booker T did not. When Booker made his WWE debut in 2001, it was an uphill battle. Being that he was part of WCW, the company that tried to put WWE out of business, Booker wasn't welcomed with open arms. However, after putting in hard work, Booker T won a huge opportunity, a World Heavyweight Championship match at WrestleMania. The champion Triple H made this rivalry very personal when he said,
"Somebody like you doesn't get to be a world champion."
Triple H made other personal attacks on Booker.
Alright, Hunter. What's that supposed to mean, Hunter? What's that supposed to mean? He gotta be talking about something else, right? Probably not.
In the lead up to WrestleMania, so there was a lot of emotion going into the match. This probably wouldn't have been much of an issue had Booker T won the match, but not only did Booker lose, but after Triple H hit the pedigree, it took the game over 20 seconds to make the cover, and Booker T still didn't kick out. The rivalry had all the makings of a rags to riches storyline, and all WWE had to do was let Booker T win. What could have been a feel-good, heartwarming WrestleMania moment turned into one of the saddest. But how Kurt Angle was treated was also pretty sad. The Olympic gold medalist is easily one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. That's why it was such sad news when he announced that he'd be retiring at WrestleMania 35. What made it even worse was when it was announced that Baron Corbin would be Kurt Angle's final opponent. Fans wanted just about anyone besides Corbin to be the last person the Olympic gold medalist fought. Regardless, the two squared off at WrestleMania in a match that wasn't awful, but nowhere near worthy of being Angle's last match. The contest ended with Baron Corbin getting the victory as well, which made the entire thing a major disappointment. Fans were not only sad to see Kurt Angle retire, but also they went out on such a terrible note, not fitting of a legend like Angle. It seemed like the odds were always stacked against Daniel.
See, moments like that upset me. It's like, could they have not found literally anyone else? Of course, people wanted it to be Cena, but Cena probably couldn't do it because if he's hurt, that holds the production of a movie he was probably working on around that time. So, but anyone else? That match was, I don't think I watched that match, if I'm being honest. I think I fell asleep. Because Mania 35 was like 7 hours, bro.
Major disappointment. Fans were not only sad to see Kurt Angle retire, but also they went out on such a terrible note, not fitting of a legend like Angle. It seemed like the odds were always stacked against Daniel Bryan. In 2013, the American Dragon accomplished the impossible by defeating John Cena and winning the WWE Championship. However, the moment was ruined when Daniel Bryan was attacked by Triple H. This allowed Randy Orton to cash in his Money in the Bank contract and take the title from Bryan. Daniel would try to become champion again, but he'd always get screwed by the Authority. Finally, after fans invaded the ring on live TV and refused to leave, Triple H agreed to fight Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. If Daniel won, he'd get to compete for the WWE Championship in the main event. Bryan pulled off a massive victory and beat Triple H, but the game wasn't playing fair. He attacked Daniel after the match, forcing him to go into the championship match injured. Despite all the odds, Daniel Bryan overcame each and every one of them. The American Dragon hit the running knee and made Batista tap out. After a long, hard-fought battle, Bryan had finally become WWE World Heavyweight Champion again. The fans celebrated loudly, and cheers of yes, yes, yes ran throughout the stadium. The underdog had prevailed. While fans cried tears of joy for Daniel Bryan's
so
victory,
good.
they didn't have the same happiness for what Brock Lesnar did earlier that night. For 2 decades, one of the traditions of WrestleMania was The Undertaker and his streak. The dead man never lost a single match at the event, and every year, a new opponent would try and defeat the Phenom. Every year, though, Undertaker always had his hand raised. At WrestleMania 30, Taker was going up against one of his toughest opponents yet, Brock Lesnar. The Beast used his most powerful move, the F5, but as everyone unexpected, Undertaker kicked out. Brock hit a second F5, and Undertaker kicked out again. Brock hit a third 5, and Undertaker didn't kick out. In complete disbelief, the streak had come to an end. Fans could not believe what they had just seen. This is something people thought would never happen, and honestly, a lot didn't want it to. However, Lesnar had his hand raised and ended a legacy that took 20 years to build. One of the most iconic couples in WWE history was Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth. That's why it broke fans' hearts to see them break up in 1989. They remained separated for nearly 2 years, and during that time, Savage got into a rivalry with the Ultimate Warrior. This led to a retirement match at WrestleMania 7. Unfortunately, Macho Man lost, which meant his in-ring career was over. While that was sad, the real tearjerker came afterward. Sherry Martel, who was the Macho Man's manager, was upset that she couldn't smooch off Savage anymore and started attacking Randy. Miss Elizabeth, who was watching in the crowd, couldn't bear to see it and jumped into the ring and saved Macho Man. With Sherry out of there, Elizabeth and Macho looked at each other and embraced in the ring. The fans were crying tears of joy seeing Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth finally back together. Even though he lost his wrestling career, Savage won something much more valuable that night. In 2010, Undertaker retired from being a full-time wrestler and started making a limited number of appearances. While it was still guaranteed that the Dead Man would always have a WrestleMania match each year, it was clear his time in the ring was coming to an end. Everyone knew this, but nobody was ready for it. At WrestleMania 33, over
Oh no. 33 was a good Mania. I liked it. I really did. But that next night on Raw, dude, Roman could not get a word out. It was so bad. They were telling him he got the 2006 John Cena treatment when he went to, I think, ECW. Whew. Well, Cena's might have been worse. Definitely. But yeah, Roman was like right behind him, bro. It was bad.
25 years after Undertaker's WWE debut, the Phenom took on Roman Reigns. The Undertaker didn't make it easy, but Roman Reigns did defeat the Dead Man. This was not the sad part, though. After the match, the Undertaker was alone in the ring. He took off his gloves, coat, and lastly, his signature hat, and left them in the middle of the ring. After that, the Dead Man left the squared circle and gave his wife a kiss. Finally, Undertaker raised a fist and left the building. Now, this wouldn't be the Undertaker's final match, but knowing that he's retired now, it's hard not to get emotional watching this. What's really cool though is that even after the show is over, the production crew left Undertaker's gear in the ring as a sign of respect. Now these are the WrestleMania moments WWE wants you to see, but there are others that they do not. Watch the video on screen to see the
I might watch that video. If they don't want moments they don't want you to see, I might watch that. Let me know if you want to see that. That'll probably be my next one after this. Alright, y'all, that'll do it for this video. I'm laughing because I just messed up the previous take and y'all didn't see that. But yeah, that'll do it for this wrestling reaction. I'll request some more. I done seen about everything. I done seen Savage Mike moments, hardcore moments, the most violent moments, whatever, saddest moments. I know there's something else I'm missing. Yeah, man, y'all keep the requests coming, and yeah, I got y'all. See y'all subscribe to the food channel, gaming channel, and I'll see you on the next video. I'm out.